Alright, hello everyone. Just a very brief video here, mostly just to pad out the YouTube a little bit because I feel bad about not posting stuff. This is basically just, there's a lot going on here, I'm sorry about that. This is just talking about how to implement PWM in wall wiring. So this is the clock that I have here. That's just the standard, like change that repeater and you change the input pulse going into the cannon. Um, Over here. So the main issue that I initially ran into while doing wall wiring is just the fact that, actually don't need to stop it. It's the fact that like if you do a 1 or 2 redstone tick pulse through wall wiring, an observer's only going to detect it as one, and you've got no way to differentiate between 1 or 2 at like the bottom. The workaround for this is adding so yeah, I've got an extra 2 ticks here from a pulse extender. You can neaten up this whole thing. But if you put in an extra 2 ticks as a pulse extender, that means you convert the pulse from like 1, 2, 3, or 4 redstone ticks. Gets converted into 3, 4, 5, or 6 ticks. And then further down the line, you can basically use observers to differentiate between the different pulse lengths. So the little bit that I have here, this is just a rising edge circuit. So this only activates when the wall initially changes. So this will be like your constant pulse to your powers. Anything that needs to be constant, you can sort of do off this little rising edge setup here. Now, I'll just demonstrate that as well. So I'll just change that timing there. You can see even though the piston retracts more slowly, that observer going up is what powers it, so it always powers on the rising edge. Now, the rest of the setup down the bottom here, all the filters work on 1, 2, 3, or 4 redstone ticks. They don't work on 3, 4, 5, 6. So what you need to do is I initially convert it into like sort of just a full length pulse instead of just like, so I'll explain this. So that observer spits out the redstone block, and then after a certain delay, it pulls it back in, and that will convert it into like from the 2 wall wiring pulses where they're like pulsing at like they'd like pulse at like 1 and 6 or something. This will convert it into so so what I can do hopefully is we can go. You can see basically that double pulse is there, and you're going to get like a weird signal out of it. Like it's not going to be a whole signal. You can see that flashes twice. So to convert it into like a full length signal of lengths 3, 4, 5, and 6, what you do is you just stick out that redstone block. This is one way to do it. I'm sure there's going to be better ways to do it as well. This little contraption here, this is a pulse shortener. So this is actually taking 2 redstone ticks off the pulse, and then that converts it back down to 1, 2, 3, or 4 redstone ticks. At which point I've got like a couple of very standard filters down there. So if I change that repeater to 2 redstone ticks, you'll see that one starts powering. Change it to 3 redstone ticks, you'll see this one here start pairing as well. There it goes, that's 3 redstone ticks. And if I change that one there, you should see the end one start pairing out too. So I'm sure there's going to be a hell of a lot of better ways to do this setup. I'm sure you could just massively shorten this, the pulse shortener setup. You'll be able to combine filters as per normal, and then you just use the rising edge here for boosters and everything. This is more of a technical video than like an actual proper video. But one of the biggest complaints about PWM is that you could not use it with wall wiring. Now you can. You just need to be a little bit more weird with how you set it up. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new, and I'll catch you later.